Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Marysia. I'm Polish, moved to US in 2015. On this channel, I talk about being a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom of two little kids. I also share my thoughts and different ideas on how to improve your life, how to change things, how to generally better yourself, and all sorts of things related to that. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about or kind of like answer the question how to stop caring what other people think about you, of you, and how to just stop being so focused on it. And I used to be super focused on it. I'll say I was raised in this kind of like realm of, you have to be kind, be nice, be humble, like always think of other think about you. You have to be like presentable and things like that. From childhood, that was something that was just always talked about in my house, and I pretty quickly became this kind of a what's it called, that people pleaser type of a person that was always very kind, not because I really wanted to, but mostly kind and humble and quiet, shy, because I was always very concerned what other people think of me, and I didn't want them to think anything negative. And as you grow up and you kind of like explore your life and become an adult, you learn that this is a very, very toxic trait, and this is very toxic way of thinking, and really hinders you from doing the things you really want to do. So how do we change that? I think it's very, very important to realize that it is not a bad thing to care what other people think of you. We are humans. We are creatures that evolved together, live together. We're supposed to care what other people think of us. Like, our survival depends on it. The problem is when it hinders you from doing the things you want to do, from exploring different career options or hobbies, or maybe going on a date with somebody that your family is gonna think something of, or making videos of for YouTube or Instagram, or dressing differently, or really anything that it is that you really want to do, but you're not doing it because you're concerned of the opinions of others. And sometimes it is the opinions of people close to us, and sometimes it's just opinions of complete strangers that are going to see you do things differently. To me, it's more stressful or like concerning of what the people that I know, my family, my friends, are going to think of me, rather than the strangers. Because since I've been making videos on YouTube or Instagram, like, people say lots of different things, and those are strangers, and sometimes it is still hurtful, and I still care about it, but it's not really impacting my life. Whereas hearing the opinions of people that I know and care about, that's more like, I take that more to heart than strangers. So it's generally not a bad thing to worry or think of what are these people going to think if I just walk into class wearing whatever. But if you really want to start presenting yourself in a different way, or change something about you, and you're worried what are people going to say about it, and that's kind of becoming a problem, because now you're not really living your own life, your authentic life. You're always trying to please somebody. And the truth is that you can't ever really please anybody, because everybody has a different way of seeing you. There's so many different people that have met you in your life, throughout your life, that have a completely different view of you, because they met you in a different circumstances, in a different time of your life, when you were even in a different mood, or the weather was different, or they felt differently, so they see you as a different person. So the opinions and the views on you are very, very different depending on the people. So you can't control that, and that's very important to just know in your head. Like, there is no one view of me, because everyone has their own perception of me. So to worry about that is pretty much pointless, and to be overly concerned about that is kind of artificial. Like, you can't control it. It doesn't make sense. And I do think about that when I try to do something different. I think that, I can't control how people see me. I do want to do it. I really want to do this authentically, and I can't control what the response is going to be. Maybe somebody's going to have a bad day, and they're going to see me do XYZ, and they're going to think that's really stupid. But it doesn't really matter, because I still do what I want to do. But how to start doing the things you want to do if you're really concerned or even scared of people thinking of you that you're maybe weird or strange or that you're making a fool out of yourself, I would start from little steps. You know, people always say that you have to get out of your comfort zone to become more confident and to become more outgoing, to be able to put yourself out there. You have to get out of your comfort zone, and I do agree with that 100%. But you have to focus on little steps so you don't scare yourself, so you don't become terrified when you do something completely outlandish and somebody will tell you something negative about it and you're gonna be scared. So starting from little steps, whatever that may look like for you in your life. Let's look at something very simple as like you want to change your style and you want to start dressing differently. You can start from something very simple as changing your haircut or changing your makeup or changing your accessorize or changing something in a gentle, kind of like a calm way to ease yourself into that change. If you want to start posting videos on YouTube or Instagram, you can start from, we could prepare the scripts, like really know what you're going to say and prepare short videos and start posting them on Instagram or YouTube. By the way, posting on YouTube is a great way to gain self-confidence and kind of learn that no matter what you do, people will have different opinions and it really doesn't matter. This is something that has helped me a lot, and I've done it for the past few years, and people have said many different things about me and about my looks, about the way I speak, about what I say, and I have learned to slowly accept that it really doesn't matter to my personal life what people are saying. I still do what I want to do, and I had periods of time when I would be like, oh my gosh, people are just saying such dumb things, like why would I even bother posting this? Maybe I actually do sound silly, maybe I don't know what I'm saying. And then I will give myself a break and I'll realize, well, I really want to do it. It doesn't really matter what they're saying. I'm still going to do it. I will always care what people say. It will always touch me because I'm a sensitive and compassionate and, highly sensitive person. And it's not a negative thing that I do care, but it doesn't need to hinder me from putting the video out there and filming another video and giving the people advice. And the last thing that I want to mention is something very important to remember, and I do think about that a lot, and I do remind myself that a lot, is that everybody is valuable in a different way. And just because there is many different videos on this specific topic, it doesn't mean I can't talk about it. It means that everybody has a different perspective, everybody has different experience that they could share, or just a way of speaking that will resonate with somebody else and they will connect with you. And it goes through to everything. Yeah, like you could think like, why would I grab my guitar and start singing? Like there's so many people that are singing and they're better and they're more successful and they're more confident. It's not like, why would I do that? But you're doing it in your own unique way. Nobody does it the way you do it. And this maybe sounds very cliche, like everybody's unique, but really we are. Nobody has a voice like you. Nobody's gonna play the guitar like you. The same thing goes for, I don't know, painting, cooking, really anything you want to do. Even, if you want to make a video about this specific topic, it doesn't matter that there are 1,000 videos about the same thing. People will have something else to offer. Or maybe they'll just say it differently that will make more sense to somebody else. And that's why you have to continuously remind yourself that there is a lot of value in you and your experiences and everything that you have learned. And you just have to remember that. You have to kind of like give yourself that permission, kindness, and love. And be that kind of like a coach, build that kind of like a coaching identity in you, that even when you feel like, oh, it's so embarrassing, I don't know how to do that, I'm going to screw up, people are going to think that I'm an idiot. Like, you have to build that mental stability inside slowly, and then eventually you have this core in you that will always remind you, hey, you have value and you have something important to say, and it doesn't matter what Susie or Betty or Tommy is going to say about it. It really doesn't matter because it's not going to change anything in your life. And sometimes also people are critical and they say something that is actually helpful, and you can look at it and be like, hey, actually that's very interesting. I can look at it from the perspective of what I can take from this to grow and to become better in what I'm doing. Maybe they have something important to say, and maybe they actually have a point. So if you're overly stressed about what other people are going to think of you, and it hinders you from doing the things you want to do, and you're constantly scared, it's like living in fear. It basically is living in fear. Just remind yourself, and it sounds very simple, but it's not, that you are valuable. You have something important to share and say. Everybody cares about the opinion of others, and it really doesn't matter what they think to your personal life. And it's normal and okay to care what people think. It's a human nature to care what other people are going to think of us. If somebody says, I just don't care what they're going to think, who cares? Whatever. That's not very authentic. And sometimes that is actually a persona people are trying to put on to actually seem that they don't care or appear as that careless person, very confident. But inside, everybody cares what people think of them. Literally everybody. Take care.